right, everybody, welcome back to the Baxter County Roundtable. My name is Joe Bryant, just your typical concerned citizen. Tonight we have two guests, Jim Baker, who's running for JP District 9, and we have Henry Campfield, who's running for Baxter County Sheriff. So, first of all, I'm going to let Jim Baker's going to go first.
Yes,
and
sir.
Welcome, Jim Baker. And
Good evening.
tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you're doing,
I'm a native of Baxter County. My roots are here. I've lived within a quarter mile all my life. And I started a business in '82 that was called Baker Truck and Equipment, and I ran it for approximately 40 years and retired in 21, and I am retired now.
is that business still in operation?
Yes, sir. It sure is. It was a towing and fleet repair business, and we got into just about a little bit of everything. Recovered boats on the lake.
I remember seeing that place when we'd come down here on vacation years ago.
One time I had to pull one of the old tugs sunk, and it was under private ownership, and I pulled it out.
Oh my gosh, sounds like fun.
Yes, sir. But I'm married to my wife Mary for 50 years. I've got 2 children, and I've got 2 grandchildren, and I've got some concerns for Baxter County, and that's why I'm running, sir.
Well, what do you feel are your unique qualifications to fill a JP or not a vacancy, but a seat?
Well, sir, I served on the board of directors for Tracy Ferry Fire Department for 9 years. And the business that I'm in was, you had to be really an administrative, taking care of problems, and I was a problem solver for my customers. And I'd like to be the same problem solver for Baxter County for District 9. And I feel like I can do that real well. I will have an open book policy, and my phone will be answered, and I will bring your concerns to Baxter County Quorum Court, and we're gonna try to make Baxter County more transparent.
You mentioned some problems potentially around the area. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, sir, I can. My number one is going to be environment. We've got some issues that need to be dealt with, some underground water that needs to be tested and around in the area that I'm at, and they need to be addressed. They can't be looked over, and currently they're being looked over, and that's causing some health issues within our county and around that, and we need to get on it and see what we can do. We've got to correct it.
So you mentioned some problems in the area where you live with the water. What give us an idea of where your JP district is.
District 9 runs along Highway 5, County Road 69. It takes off and goes south, and then turns and goes up towards Salesville, follows I think 177 all the way to the lake, and goes all the way around the lake and comes around by Panther Creek and up, and I think the border of it is County Road 396, goes up to 62 East and follows that, and then ventures into Mallard Point just a little bit.
Oh, okay.
And comes back out, and then follows 62 East all the way back around to the bypass, all the way back around to Highway 5.
So you're kind of south of 62.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
South.
It's a pretty big district.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in it.
Yeah, that's right.
Briarcliff is in that district, and Briarcliff is another one of my current concerns. Briarcliff has got to get hard with the tornadoes. Really bad. And they've had some trials and issues, and I've been to 3 different meetings over there, as a concerned citizen, and I wanted to a lot of them are friends, because over the years, my customer base was quite large, and you got to know a lot of people, and a lot of friends, and a lot of them are my friends.
Yeah, I've got a customer over there and, you know, I dealt with them at their business and then, you know, one day they needed some help at their house and I went out there and I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, I heard all the stories about how
It's
hard they
bad.
got whacked.
It's bad. I went over and
It's
helped.
still in bad shape.
Yes, it is. I went and helped it with my equipment. Went and helped a couple people over. I helped Big Mike, and it was his mother-in-law that got blew away. And I went over and spent about 3-4 days there. I went to Tony Tilley's. He's on County Road 69. He had 2 pickups wiped out, and they were still on it. And we went over with a loader and picked it up and helped him get it off his vehicles. And those people got hurt. Those people got hurt pretty bad.
Yeah, my area out in Hand Cove got hit pretty hard, and it's like the community just came together.
And they did, and I'm
really kind of surprised.
It'll make you proud. I mean, it'll make you proud to be part of the community when you see it come together like that.
Yeah. Yep. So, what kind of environmental issues do you see?
Well, sir, the quarry is being used more like a business than it is for a service for the community.
Who owns that quarry?
County owns that quarry.
County owns it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And if folks can go to my Facebook page, and I'm a big outside person. I love being outside, and they'll see that in my pictures that they take. But they'll also see the problems that we're having, and it'll be more explained. You know.
Now, that's a rock quarry, and
Yes, sir. It is a rock quarry, but it is abandoned. But it's being used to haul brush into right now, and that's part of one of my issues. And it also was used by a contractor to dispose of wastewater, and that has caused some health issues. And there needs to be testing done. I talked to Little Rock today about it. So we have got some things moving along, and we'll see where it goes to. But I've got a brand new house that just sits up in there, and I saw a lot what was going on, and that's part of what got me concerned. And then it started affecting my health. I spent some time in the hospital, and I picked up H. pylori, and that's from a bacteria. And that's when it convinced me that I need to get involved with District 9 and the people of District 9.
how do you figure, how would you get the quorum court to move on something like that? I mean, as a JP.
I don't think a lot of people know about what's going on. So we need to let people know what's going on. And even when we went to meet the candidate, I sat down at a table, didn't know a guy, and he also had water issues. So I think what I'm going to do, during my campaign, I'm going to go door to door, beating on doors, talking to people, getting to know them. I'm also going to carry paperwork with me, and I believe I'm going to start a petition so that if you've got water problems, and we can get them addressed.
Now, have you started that campaign at this time?
We're just getting started at it now. I've got my cards, I've got my push cards, I've started putting up 4x4 signs, and I've got 2 put up, probably put another one up tomorrow. And if somebody wants a sign or wants to talk to me, my number is 870-421-9351. Call me. I'll be more than glad to talk to you.
9351?
9351.
Okay.
Jim, I noticed you got your number on your signs.
Yes, sir, I
I was
do.
gonna say, I thought I seen one tonight.
Yes, sir. I'm fixing to light them up, put lights on them, so people can see them at nighttime.
Well, boy, it's so big, it's not like the population is pushed in together too much, so you're gonna have to do a lot of walking.
I can do it.
All right.
I can do it. I'm also a flight instructor, and
You can fly over and drop pamphlets.
no, fly over and drop pamphlets, but I can tell you there's not hardly a part of Baxter County I haven't flew over. And I've been flying parachutes since 1999, and I've also got my fixed wing endorsement. But there's only 2 instructors in the state of Arkansas for parachute, and I'm one of them. And I'm gonna have to go meet a gentleman from Tennessee in Jonesboro quick as the weather gets correct.
Well, it sounds like you've been around a while and in that area, so you should know where all the places are to go.
Well, put it this way, when somebody goes down, they usually call me, and then I help go retrieve them or get them home or get the machine home or
Wow.
what. We have a fly-in every year in Gassville at Rollers, and I think this might be number 14, but there's a lot of people come here from Louisiana, they come from Oklahoma, they come from all over the country, even California. They say that our area is the most beautiful area and that they've ever been to, and they usually come back. And so we have got so much here to offer folks. We've got fishing, we've got clear water, we've got hunting. We're blessed.
Well, that's for sure. Everywhere I go, I talk to people, where are you from? And Bull Shoals, or you mentioned Bull Shoals, and everybody knows where it's at.
Yeah,
Of course, we have North Fork and White River and a bunch of other really cool.
I've been blessed. I was born here. I've been blessed, and so it's a fabulous place to raise kids. And,
Yeah.
But I think I can help the community. I really do. We'll if they've got issues, then we'll bring them to the court. There's another JP that is a friend of mine, Bob Nault. He has a meeting once a month amongst and what he does, he takes that meeting and then takes their concerns and brings it to the court. And I think that's a very good thing to do, and I will probably follow that same thing.
I think that's an awesome idea.
It lets the people what they've got on their mind.
And you're not working for Jim Baker. You're working for your constituents.
Well,
the way I see it.
Being on the Corn Court, JP doesn't pay a lot of money, sir. And if your heart's not in it, then you don't need to be JP because it does not pay very much money. It don't even cover your gasoline.
Yeah.
But the thing is, my heart's in it. I want to help Baxter County. I've been a part of Baxter County all my life, and Baxter County's been good to me. So this is why I want to be JP.
Okay. Well, how about you have any fundraising activities?
Yes, sir. We've had
scheduled?
Some, but also I want to state another one of my interests that is the roads. They need to be improved. Where County Road 69, if you drive down the side of it, it's washed out on the shoulder, bad. And one of my neighbors saw a school bus get into that this last week, and it's gonna rip the tie rods off of it. The poor school bus drivers has got kids that's fussing at them, plus they gotta keep it in between. And they've gotta be multi-tasked people to drive buses, and they're having trouble keeping bus drivers. We need to get these roads fixed so those bus drivers don't have to be worried about running off the edge of the road. And another thing is it's causing maintenance issues, and this is uncalled for. I used to run a road grader for the county many years ago in the 70s. I worked for Guy King and Sons, and I ran the shoulder box. And when I see those shoulders like that, I'm like, my gosh, this could be fixed. This is one of the things that I see that can be fixed. The environmental thing, if we don't get onto it, then we'll have issues fixing it. The other one is the airport. I don't approve of what's gone down with the airport. The little guys kind of got left out. Excuse me. I've got a friend of mine that's moved here from Batesville, Arkansas. Okay, he's got a $200,000 airplane. He has no place to keep it. He told me that there was 70 on the waiting list.
Wow.
At the airport. Saw where the judge said and updated from KTLO that was 58, but still 58 is too many. That is keeping people from moving here that has airplanes, and there's a lot of them. So it either leaves you with an alternative of going to Calico Rock, which was just had 6 to open up, or somewhere else and having to drive, or if you're lucky enough to pick up a piece of property from the valley, and have you an airport over there.
Well, is this Baxter Regional? Is that run by the county?
It is run by the county,
That's
sir.
the county.
And the way they've got it set up right now, they had a board of directors, and they took got away, and, I met the approval of a lot of people because the courthouse was full that night that they had the judge brought it up and voted them out. And they were pilots that knew how to, when they saw a problem or an issue at the airport, they knew how to address that. I don't think we've got so much of that now. And truthfully, we've only got the judges as the sole person that's in charge of it. And he's got an advisory board, but they're only at his advisory board. And there's some safety issues also. The ILS is inoperable on one of the runways, and ILS is Instrument Landing Approach, its service. New airplanes that's got a glass dash, and which are really complicated, called technical, I forget the name of it, but the glass panel will give you synthetic vision to know how to land. The old airplanes don't have that. So if you're using ILS and you land at that airport and you make a mistake and you know that the ILS is not working, insurance doesn't pay. So we've got safety issues. We got some things that need to be addressed.
Do you have any ideas on a solution for this backlog of
They really
storage?
have to take every opportunity to get every grant that they can get. But here's the problem.
And is there room there for?
There's room, I think there's room there.
Expansion.
But the problem is, since this whole thing was that we missed the last grant on, which would have made the airport, instead of 5,000 feet, would have made 6,000 feet. We missed that because we did not have on file all the contracts for the leases, and they got lost. Well, professional businessmen don't lose such things. That don't just happen. So that's a little bit.
Well, as far as funding goes for those, I guess you're talking about storage for these aircraft.
Yes, sir, in hangar space.
Hangar space. Well,
I think we'll have to make the FAA, we'll have to show them that we're responsible before we get any more.
Shouldn't the pilots or the owners of the aircraft pay for? Shouldn't they be able to finance that, or?
Well, the way I had an 80-20 hangar in Calico Rock. Let me give you an example. 80% of it was funded through the government, through the Aeronautical Board. Okay, 20% was funded by me. Okay. That was, at that time, it was really a good deal. There needs to be more of that. That gave me a 15-year lease at that airport, so there needs to be more of those.
Well, maybe you can come up with a solution and
Well,
introduce it to the people that
Perhaps.
do something about it.
Perhaps. But anyhow, that's some of my goals. Now, I wanted to talk about something else. This is about the sheriff's race. Through the years, Jeff Lewis, which is number 2 in charge, and he's done it with Mr. Montgomery's blessing, has took care of the cemeteries in Baxter County that the folks have passed away. I'm saying for the people that were taking care of them. And I think it was 309 inmates that he was using, and maybe perhaps some other ones too. But Mr. Lewis is going to retire, and I'd like to see that carried on. That kept cemeteries that nobody was left to care for, and he has kept them up. And I thank Jeff for doing that. He's done an absolutely fantastic job. I thank Mr. Montgomery for supporting to do that. I'd like to see that carried on.
Maybe our next guest will be able to shed some light on that this
Well,
evening.
he just might.
Or have something to say about that.
He just might.
So, what about, do you have any contact info, how people can get a hold of you besides 421-9351?
Well, I live at 488 County Road 69 up on top of the hill across from the quarry. You're welcome to come by and visit anytime you want to, and give me a call, and we'll get together. If you got any concerns that I can help you with even now, well, give me a call.
Did you have a Facebook page or anything you'd like?
Yes,
to
sir, I
point
do.
people to?
It's under Jim Baker.
Jim
And,
Baker.
yes, sir, and you will see me, my family and I, and on the front of it. And, I encourage them to look it up and look at the pictures and kind of see what's going on.
Okay, well, that's awesome. Anything else you want to discuss this evening?
No, sir, I think that's it.
All right, well, Jim, thank you for joining us.
You're sure welcome, sir. Thank you for the opportunity to be here.
You're welcome to hang out while we interrogate our next guy, and that's Henry Campfield, running for sheriff. You've been here once or twice, but let's go rehash your vitals. Tell us who you are.
Man, I love coming back. I appreciate y'all for doing this. It's awesome. I think it's growing. I think every week when I watch it, there's a few more folks watching it and replays, so it's great. But yeah, I'm Henry Campfield. I'm a Republican candidate for sheriff. I'm one of the three. I am the only one that's a returning candidate. I ran in 22 against our current sheriff, Mr. Montgomery. Like I tell people, the outcome didn't turn out the way we wanted, but we had a successful campaign. We got out, we got to meet a lot of new folks. Get our message out. I think we're seeing some return on that this time. So it's awesome. But I've been in law enforcement for 24 years. In February, I'll be going on my 25th year. Started with Baxter County, Mountain Home, then went over to Mountain Home. I spent 5 years on the other side of the river in Marion County. I was the chief of police in Flippin for 5 years, and currently back at Mountain Home as a patrol sergeant. Married to my wife Danielle for 15 years. We have a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old that keep me young. And then I've got 2 adult daughters.
Well, they know everything, don't they?
Oh,
They
do.
could probably
they
help you campaign.
Yeah, it's actually my daughters are doing really well for me. So I've got a 28-year-old daughter that lives on County Road 69, about a mile from me, and then another daughter that lives in Texas. So she does a lot for me on my page. So you can tell when you're looking at my Facebook page and it hasn't been updated. That means she's been busy.
Oh boy, she's got her own life. Is that what you're saying?
That's it. But I've got 5 grandkids. All but one live here in Baxter County. All but one of my children live here in Baxter County. I've been in Baxter County since the 5th grade. Wasn't born here, but we got here as fast as we could.
Yeah, same here.
If you've heard me talk the last couple times, my people close to me know my story. But I've just kind of started letting go out. I was the troublemaker youth growing up, and did a lot of things I wasn't, I should have been doing in the high school parking lot, things like I have such a passion for this. I believe 100% I've been called to do this.
So you've got experience.
100%.
On both sides.
There's not a lot of excuses you can give me that I haven't used over the years. But it's unique, and I brought this up at the Meet the Candidates. Arrest. We have a drug problem in Baxter County. A lot of us walk around every day with these little visors on our eyes, and if it doesn't affect me, it must not be here. And that's what we've lived by for 20 years. They arrest a few people here and there, but we have a drug problem in Baxter County. We have it all over our country. Arrest does not stop that problem.
You're still in law enforcement today.
Still law enforcement.
Are we seeing fentanyl issues?
Oh yeah, fentanyl. So yeah, methamphetamine and fentanyl are two big things here. We have the other drugs, but they're not as prevalent. Methamphetamine is huge. We thought 5 or 6 years ago that we had it licked when we started, limiting ephedrine and things like that for folks to buy, which it did help. We don't have the cooks anymore in Baxter County because we used to find those labs all over. People just throw out their windows. But now that's coming. They're coming from across the border, and hopefully with the way things are going, and we can slow that down. We close our borders off and doing things like that, I think are going to help. But unfortunately, that's always going to be a problem.
There's always going to be stuff slipping through.
100%. And we're, my administration is twofold. I think all three of the candidates agree. If you come and commit a crime in Baxter County, we are going to arrest you. We are going to take you to jail. We're in our power to hold you accountable for that crime. I think what sets me apart from the other two is the fact that I know I've been there. I've been on that road. If somebody did not interject themselves into my life, I would be one of the statistics that we're talking about right now. But somebody took the time to interject themselves, and it started with Sam Bailey at Twin Lakes Baptist Church here in Baxter County. He got with my mom. I've been a member of that church since 1984, and hey, we've got a place. We found a place that might do something, and I ended up 40 miles north of Amarillo, Texas, at a place called Campfield's Boys Ranch.
Oh boy!
And I spent 4 years there.
Got you a real education.
I did. I got a real education for sure, but and that's changed my outlook in today's world. We do absolutely nothing right now to help our inmates at all. Our goal, our whole stance has for the last, as long as I've been in law enforcement, is you are a criminal. We are going to treat you like a criminal. And if you don't like it, move away from Baxter County. Well, guys, that's not the answer. I mean, that is not the answer. All I'm going to do is take my problem and send it to somebody else that's eventually going to come right back to me. We have to figure out a way to change the heart and minds of these people. And we're not doing that now.
Do you have any ideas?
Oh yeah, 100%. We've already reached out. We're seeing success with John 3:16. We're seeing success with the old Care Center Ministries. I don't remember what they've changed their names to now, but we're seeing success with groups like that. The problem is if you come to me right now and said, Henry, I've got a problem and I need help, I can pick up the phone and I can make a phone call, and there's a waiting list to get in there. There's a waiting list for treatment. Unless you just got a lot of money and you're willing to move south, it's hard to get treatment. We can bring a version of those programs into our jail. I think our daily average in the jail is probably right around 100, maybe a little bit more, a little bit less, depending on the time of year. But if we can bring some of these programs in weekly or bi-weekly or something like that, and we can change the heart and mind of one person, we've affected crime. Well, we have affected crime overall.
Aren't they doing that in Calico Rock at the prison?
So there is programs at the state level, and there are a lot of county jails across the state that are doing it. It's just not something that we've done here. And it's
seems like it would be worth a try.
Well,
I know a guy that goes out to Calico, and I believe he's a volunteer. So it's not like it'd be a big cost.
Right, and see, that's the thing. So, and I've reached out to a few groups, a few of the local churches, and there are a lot of folks who are willing to come in and do that. They just haven't been granted the access to do that. And there is some logistics that you got to work out, and there's some things like that. But one day we're all going to stand before our judge one day, I feel like I've lived a pretty good life, and I can stand up there and say, hopefully I'll live for another 50 years. But my 30-year law enforcement career, I feel like I've done what I'm supposed to do. I put the bad guys in jail. But have I done enough? If we're not changing, because that's not doing enough. Because all we're doing is creating a system. Right, wrong, or indifferent. Our system in today's world is more about monetary damages than it is correcting the problem.
Well, and the thing is, if you help these people and correct some of their behavior, it's costs less than
100%
doing the vicious circle.
100%. People all the time, if you get arrested, you go to court, you plead guilty, you get put on probation, you get fines. We all know what the wage is in Baxter County, Arkansas. There's not a lot of folks that make just a lot of money in Baxter County. It is funny how they can afford a $5 or $10 pack of cigarettes, but can't afford the fines. Yeah. But still, if you're young, because this happened to me, young, I didn't have anything. If I had a choice to pay a fine or pay my light bill, I'm probably going to pay my light bill. And so then you don't pay your fines. Then you get another warrant issued for your arrest. You come back to jail, and that warrant's going to say, you're going to pay this bond, or we're going to OR you out after 48 hours. So you sit in jail for 2 days. We kick you out. We add another $300 to your and that's just a number I'm throwing out. We're going to add more money to your fines. And it's just the cycle continues.
It's hard to get out.
The cycle
Almost
continues.
impossible to get out of that for.
And so coming to your question, 100%, we're not doing enough of that in Baxter County. I think that's awesome. I live on County Road 69. I see them out there working on the cemetery. I think it's awesome.
It is.
Now, are those are local?
Local,
people?
that's Baxter County. The sheriff's office takes care of that. They do several of the old cemeteries here in town, but that's 100% something that we are going to do. Let's get back. I have to pay a jailer to babysit inmates all day long, whether they're sitting in a jail cell or they're picking up trash on the side of the road. I've got to pay a jailer to do that.
Well, don't you think making them pick up trash is kind of mean?
No, yeah,
It's mean.
It's kind of mean. But it's mean. But here's the deal: is I really think, for the most part, people will support it. A lot of people don't know. I spent 8 days in a city jail in Amarillo, Texas. I was 18 years old. I had just graduated high school, and again, now remember, I spent 4 years at a boys' ranch. So when I graduated, I kind of sowed my oats a little bit. I was a rodeo guy. I rode bulls and bareback horses every weekend. Traveled Texas, Oklahoma, New Mexico, the circuit every weekend. So I would tend to get speeding tickets and things like that. Well, an 18-year-old kid, I didn't pay those fines. Well, I got stopped on the way to work one morning, and I had $2,500 worth of traffic tickets. So they hauled my butt to jail. And they told me, he said, you're going to make $50 a day towards your fines if you sit here. If you make trustee, it's $250 a day. And I said, well, how do I make trustee? He said, well, you're here on traffic tickets, so it's just, you're going to, unless you just say, I want to sit here for $50 a day, you're get that. So they put me in the kitchen. I made it 8 days. I called my boss. I said, hey, can I take some vacation? They said, yes. I made it 8 days. And I couldn't do it anymore. I called my wife, and she brought the rest of the money to pay my fines off. But looking back at that now, I'm 51 years old. If that wouldn't have happened, there's a high likelihood I could still be sucked in that same old vortex, paying $25 a month. And then every month the state's going to add $10 to your fines. As long as you're making payments, the state's going to get their money. So they're adding $10 more to those fines, and it's just
probation officer fees.
Yeah, we're not. There are folks we're not going to be able to help, and those are the folks we need to. Hey, let's build another prison. We're going to stick them down there in the bottom. But I promise you, I have a lot of friends who have committed crimes who are good people.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know how much it costs to keep an inmate, but it's a lot cheaper to have a program that kind of points them in the right direction, get them out of this vortex.
Yeah, anything we can do to slow down our recidivism rates is huge. A lot of things that a lot of people don't know either is if you're under the age of 18 and you live in the state of Arkansas, there is no inpatient drug treatment program for you. There's none. Unless you are having some type of mental issue and you are threatening harm to yourself or somebody else, there is no inpatient treatment for drug addiction in Arkansas. That is something we took to Stetson, and he's a painter, and he's kind of run with, and he was able to get a little bit of a budget this year in a building, but it's still in the infancy level, so we're still not getting treatment. And folks, whether we want to admit this or not, that's the future of our country. If we can't take care of our kids, what are we doing for ourselves? I've got a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old child at home, and I am scared to death of the country that we're leaving them right now.
Oh yeah, me too.
And we have got to do something. The days of neighbors being neighbors isn't here anymore. I've got a little old lady that lives 2 doors down from me. My son goes over there a couple times a month and checks on her and helps her with her garden and does things like that. And and she's like, she calls me up and she said, well, how much do I need to pay your son? I said, you don't need to pay him a penny. You're our neighbor.
You don't see much of that anymore.
This is what we do. And But we got to get back to that type of lifestyle if we want to see true change in our country. But if you treat a person like a criminal, they're going to be a criminal. I promise you.
Well,
they'll be a criminal.
what about a lot of these people that are in the jail right now? Probably some of them have mental illness. Is there anything that?
Yeah, so that's a tough issue. We're actually seeing more and more of that as it goes on. I mean, 20 years ago and what we're seeing now, it's tremendous. You know, y'all have heard me talk. Training is a huge thing for me. Every one of our deputies will have training in mental health. We have to be able to. Unfortunately, mental health and drugs mimic a lot of the same behaviors. So, you know, it's getting that specialized training. So, am I dealing with somebody who's coming down from a high, or am I dealing with somebody that has a true mental condition? Because the thing is those folks don't need to be in our jail. We need to be seeking mental help for them. And that's going as far as working with the prosecutor's office, working with their families. You know, it's almost impossible to get somebody admitted into a hospital who doesn't want to go. Yeah. You know, but working with the prosecutors and working with their families, now maybe we can start pushing stuff towards more involuntary stuff, getting them sent in at least long enough to get them, get an evaluation on them and seeing, hey, what can we do to try to change your lives and get you back on track. But we are seeing that, and unfortunately, that's not something I think that's going to go away. That's something we're going to continue to see.
That's nationwide.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, it's bad, and a lot of it is drugs. You know, people are mixing everything with drugs. You know, using, back in the old days, they were cooking meth and they didn't get the batch big enough that they wanted, so they'd start cutting other stuff into it, and you don't know what you're going to get. You know, synthetic stuff is so big right now. K2. There's a list a mile long of synthetic drugs that people can buy. You can go to Missouri right now and buy kratom legally.
What is it?
Kratom. It's a synthetic drug. You can buy it legally. It's a felony in Arkansas. So you buy it over there across the border, and it's a felony. But we're selling it legally in a state bordering us. You know, states all across our country are decriminalizing drug use. So we're essentially saying it's still illegal to use it, but if we catch you, we're not gonna do anything to you.
Yeah.
And so we're kind of we're giving them the help they need to continue the drug use and continue everything else.
Mixed messages.
You know, instead of bringing in the programs to like, hey, this is what could happen if you change your life. You know, and start doing the right thing.
Well, I mean, you look at this. I hate to mention anybody by name, but I'm gonna Plant Family. I mean, that's government's got legal marijuana, but so it's kind of some incentive to go get some marijuana.
Yeah.
It's legal now, but you can't have your own in the backyard. It's kind of a
and it's funny. I've got a really good friend of mine who was paralyzed when he was 16 years old in a car wreck, and opioids is one of the worst things that our country ever developed. Great, we thought we were saving the world by stopping people's pain, but we're wrecking their lives. But car wreck, 16 years old, gets put on opiates, just a horrible life. Decides he's going to move to Colorado. Gets on some medical marijuana and has changed his life. He's completely off of opioids. He's working a full-time. He's a ski instructor. He's a ski instructor. Teaches paralyzed people how to ski. But so I have a little mixed emotions about the marijuana industry.
Well, I don't care about the marijuana so much. It's just that the message.
Oh yeah,
it's the message that. The
problem I have with it is we have taken it. We have scientifically changed it up, and now the marijuana you get now is so strong and potent. It's like, you know what, I can say, okay, God provided this. It's that's the argument. Well, this the Lord made everything. It should be legal to smoke. But yeah, we've scientisted that stuff up so much that it's so powerful. It's like we got to find a kind of a happy medium there. But guys, that's unfortunately in today's world, that's coming. Legalized marijuana is coming to Arkansas. It's not if, it's just when. It's going to be here. That's something we're going to have to deal with.
Well, if you're using it medicinally, I'm okay with that. But when I drive past this plant place that's right next to the liquor store, I go by there a lot, and I get whacked, almost get whacked passing that place. So it's I don't think it's just medicinal.
Yeah, well, no, it don't take much, I don't think, to get a thing. But guys, we really want to do something. We really want to make an impact on our community. We don't want to keep doing the same thing we've been doing, and people have a hard time with change. And one of the worst things that a administrator or supervisor could ever tell you is when you ask them, why are we doing this, and their answer is because that's the way we've always done it. That should make you cringe a little bit. That's
a poor answer.
I've been doing this for 25 years, and I learned something. It's the group of people coming up now are not the same group of people that came up when I was young. It's not the same group of people that came up. We can't treat this generation the same way we've treated other generations just because we're not having the effect. We have to be willing to adapt. We have to be willing to change to get the outcome we want to get in our communities.
Yeah, it's the old definition of insanity. Keep doing the same thing over, banging your head against the wall, and you're going to get the same result.
Yeah.
Or not get the result you're after anyway.
100%.
So, all right, anything else you're...
No, man, we're out beating the streets, and
do you have any upcoming fundraising
so
events?
We don't have any more fundraising events scheduled right at this time. We've got some other engagements. I'm going to be in Norfolk in January. I think we're going to work out towards Northeast Lakeside and in the Hand Cove area towards the end of January. Hoping to get in. I got to speak with the fire chiefs at the fire chiefs meeting this last Monday. So we had some positive there, and had several chiefs reach out to schedule some speaking engagements there. Looking forward to the debates. Just looking forward to them.
I suspect that this holiday season is you really don't have the attention of too many people.
Yeah, it's hard. We took off all of last week. I did Monday night. I spoke at the fire chiefs meeting, and then we did no political anything. This is the first time in 10 years I've actually been home for Thanksgiving. My wife's from the Chicago area, so we usually go there for Thanksgiving. So it was kind of nice to unplug. And
can you carry a gun in Chicago? Yeah, well then
yes,
it might be okay for you to go, but I'm not going.
It's not bad. But we're just out, talking with folks and things like that. Like I said, looking forward to the debates to start, and where folks can kind of get to see the passion. Yeah, January 13th.
January 13th, Baxter County Republican Committee is putting on a debate. Is that correct?
To be announced where and time.
Okay, to be announced, time and place.
Yeah, but other than that, man, you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, anything? I am an open book. I'm not embarrassed or scared to answer any question, and you're going to get what's coming from my heart.
Do you have a way for people to get contact?
Yep, they can get me on Facebook at Henry Campfield for Baxter County Sheriff. My phone number is 870-421-6553. I am a night shift worker, so if you call during the day and I don't answer, just leave a message. I will call you back. I don't sleep much, but if I'm sleeping, I probably won't answer. But reach out to me. Like I said, we're an open book, and we want to answer the questions. We want people to feel comfortable. We want to get rid of the old, and let's bring in some new, and let's change our lives. Let's change our community. Let's do some good things.
All right, Henry. Well, I appreciate you coming by and visiting with us. It's always a pleasure. Great conversation. So we're going to excuse you for this version of Baxter County Roundtable. I have a few announcements to make. Upcoming meetings, Quorum Court is the first Tuesday each month at 5:30 p.m. and that's at the Baxter County Courthouse.
It was tonight.
Oh, it was tonight.
I moved it up.
They did? Oh,
Yes,
because
sir.
of the holiday?
No, sir, Judge was gonna be out of town.
Oh, okay, wow, all right, I did not know that.
So normally it is on
Yeah,
Tuesday.
normally first Tuesday. City Council meets first and third Thursday at 5 p.m. at City Hall. City Planning Committee meets the second Monday at 1 p.m. at City Hall. County Planning Committee, second Tuesday, 11 a.m. at Baxter County Courthouse. A&P Advertising and Promotion, third Thursday, 3 p.m., and that's at City Hall. School Board meets the third Thursday, 6 p.m. on Rodeo Drive at the Administration Building. Public Safety Committee or the Old Airport Commission, I guess they meet as needed or
I don't know.
what, not sure about that. But anyway, maybe the most important one is Baxter County Republican Committee. That's the last Tuesday each month at 6 p.m.
But not December.
VFW, no meeting in December, that is correct. And that's really about it. We've got 12/8, December 8th, we've got Eric Payne scheduled, and that's it for December at this time. So, but there will be more on that hopefully. And thanks again to everybody. And
Thank you, gentlemen, for having us.
And